Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
It is Thursday, and good stuff on deck. Lutheran Church Extension Fund is an outstanding organization, and my family, we're members of LCEF. But to see the ways that the congregations and church workers and organizations and schools of Synod are supported through LCEF is outstanding, and I'm so excited about the opportunity we're sharing today, because it is outstanding for our Lutheran schools, our LCMS schools. I'm really excited about what this could mean for many schools. As I was thinking about what this could mean for the school where my son attends at St. Mark's, what this could mean for them. So the Kaleidoscope Fund, if you haven't heard about it, you're going to learn about it today, because it is outstanding. Joining us in studio, Susan Schaefer. She's Vice President of Operations and Special Projects at Lutheran Church Extension Fund. Susan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The Kaleidoscope Fund Grants is exciting. I've heard about it over the last few years, but never really gotten I haven't taken the time to really learn the full scope of what it is. Can you share with us what is the Kaleidoscope Fund?
Sure. So, actually, prior to 2016, work started around 2014, but LCEF identified that we had excess earnings that we could help in a greater way the church. And so we developed the Kaleidoscope Fund, which is a granting program. And we have so we officially launched the first program, or the first year was 2016. Over the last 3 years, we have awarded over 30 LCMS ministries grants totaling over $2 million. So, and we're anxious again now. This year, we just launched on Monday the 2019. We kicked off the 2019 year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's a lot of really great programs that have been funded over the last few years.
Yeah.
So there's a new focus this year in 2019. Tell me about that.
Okay. So up to this point, we have offered eligibility has been open to the to LCMS congregations, their schools and child cares, Synod the offices of Synod Inc., and LCEF member districts. And what we found after we did some analysis after the first 3 years, looking at the metrics, we found that we hadn't really awarded, I think, just a couple Lutheran schools, because the criteria for Lutheran schools is so unique, and it's very different from the other areas that were eligible previously. So we made determination that this year we're going to narrow the focus to just education, specifically LCMS K-8 Lutheran schools. So we're excited about that. I'm sure the schools are excited about that because now any of the barriers that they might have experienced going up against some, congregations or whatever before, now they won't have this year. So we're excited to see what kind of ideas come through from them.
Yeah, I've already seen a bunch of social media posts from schools on Twitter and Facebook. They're like, "Hey guys, this is really great for us." So yeah, the word is out.
And we opened it on Monday, and we've actually already received our first proposal summary today. So,
wow,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're
bonus points to the one who turns in the first proposal.
I don't know.
So give us
you gotta be careful.
Right. I'm totally kidding. I didn't mean that at all. It wasn't mine. Don't worry. What does give us an example of how a ministry has benefited from the Kaleidoscope Fund in the past?
Okay, so there are a ton of examples. I'll give a few highlights. So we have a church in Colorado, in Denver, who had started a ministry to their homeless. There's a homeless population just right around their church, and started a ministry offering meals to them, weekly meals to them, and wanted to expand that to offer a shower trailer. And so the Kaleidoscope Fund grant in 2017, they were awarded a Kaleidoscope Fund grant and purchased a shower trailer, and it's actually a trailer with 4 stalls in it, and they take that around and offer showers to the homeless, and then laundry and clothing. And what's really cool, our board of directors was able to visit that site last year for one of our meetings. And what's really neat to see is that the community has other organizations in the community, the library and some other organizations have kind of banded along with that and expanded that program. So that was something made possible. And that was the kind of innovative, out-of-the-box thinking that we tried to encourage in reaching their communities. So it was really a good one. We've also helped a couple LCMS ministries to the Armed Forces and Soldiers of the Cross. Those are great programs meeting the needs of our church workers, where we've been able to offer additional assistance. Unity Lutheran Church in East St. Louis, we helped rehab like 15 homes that were in their immediate area, so for their members.
And generosity like that tends to spark more generosity. In the example that you gave in Colorado, as this congregation was reaching out with meals and then wanted to build on that by offering showers to make a difference in the lives of the homeless in their community, that sparked generosity, as you shared, from other community partners as well. I'm curious what that has done specifically for the homeless individuals, if that's helping make a difference in the poverty cycle for them as well.
That would be interesting to know. I do know that several of those homeless people are engaged in the church. They're at the particular church that started this ministry. I know they're helping there and doing various things. So I'm sure there are blessings coming to them as a result of what they're sharing.
So the new focus for 2019 is LCMS schools.
It's right, specifically K-8 Lutheran schools.
Very good. Anything else we need to know about who's eligible for this year?
So LCMS K-8 Lutheran schools, there is a little caveat that we are not able to offer the grants or we're not able to distribute net earnings to RSO organizations, unfortunately. But that's just due to our Articles of Incorporation and a Synod bylaw that prohibits us at this time from doing that. So LCMS K-8 Lutheran schools.
So schools that operate as an RSO would not be eligible.
Correct.
Then, correct. Okay.
That's a good distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure that's clear. What kinds of projects, maybe, if a school is thinking about applying but don't really know maybe what they could apply for?
Sure.
What kinds of ideas could schools be thinking
Sure.
about?
So we actually have that established. We have 4 funding focus areas. So that would include faculty enrichment, things like sabbaticals, just thinking a little outside the box, extra training for them. Curriculum development is another area. Facility improvement, so playgrounds and just, sensory expansion or STEM labs and things like that. Also, we have a 4th category this year that we are working in partnership with the LCMS Foundation, and we're really excited about, as are they, and that is offering endowment creation. So to help schools think longer term, they can set up an endowment. And the cool thing about it with the Kaleidoscope this year is it's a $25,000 match. So the Kaleidoscope Fund will match $25,000 raised by those schools within an 18-month period.
Wow.
Yeah.
And think about what an endowment would do for a school, for a Lutheran school particularly. Lutheran schools in most of our communities, because there's a tuition, because tuition is an important part of that, an endowment would provide opportunities most likely for scholarships.
Absolutely.
in their community, and position Lutheran schools to be able to maybe offer more educational opportunities at a much lower cost to the students and their families.
That's significant.
So that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Whoever had that idea, kudos to them to help think more long term too.
Absolutely.
For our Lutheran schools and help position them to serve their communities.
Yeah, we're excited about that piece of it.
Very good. And so that particularly works as a matching, and some of the other categories work as matching too. Is that correct?
So the facility improvement, it's not a matching, but there is a max of $50,000 that the Kaleidoscope grants will fund, and we are looking to see the schools have some buy-in on that as well. So they would have to come up with the other portion. There's just a max on that, but that's the only matching program for this year.
And what's the range of these grants?
Yeah, okay. So the grants are going to be offered this year in amounts between $15,000 and $75,000.
Wow.
And when the proposals are written, what criteria are you looking for?
So this is you bring up a good point, because if people are interested in applying, we have a 2-step process. And so first they'll submit a proposal summary, which is out and available on our website now. And there are some guidelines that we have established for both. So we've kind of separated those 4 funding categories I talked about into endowment creation, and then the other 3, just because they're a little different. But there are guidelines provided for each of those as to how people can complete their proposal summary. Is just a brief narrative about what they're looking to accomplish and what they've already done, what they're asking of LCEF, and then we provide guidelines to things they could possibly include. I want to be careful about telling, everyone wants kind of the secret sauce. How can I get a grant?
Right.
So, we have a wonderful committee of volunteers who pray intently over the applications and over the proposals. And so if you kind of follow the guidelines, and we've also provided some real descriptive ideas or suggestions on our website under the FAQs, I think that'll help people be on the right track for the kind of things we're looking for. We've tried to be very clear and transparent about that. So, but I mentioned a 2-step process, and so the proposal summaries are out and are downloadable. There's a cover page and then guidelines, and you can download those on our website today. Those were out there effective Monday. And then those are due by May 31st. And then we have the committee who will review those and make determinations for those whom we will select to apply for a grant. So, and then the application process is a little bit more intense. It requires a little more thought. The idea was, in establishing the abstract or proposal summary, is people would have, it doesn't take as much time. There's not a lot of time put in to then find out, well, we didn't get the grant.
Sure. So that first step now is providing that, starting that with that proposal, and that is due by May 31st. Is that correct? And all of this can be found at lcef.org/kaleidoscope. And if you're like me, you haven't typed the word kaleidoscope in a very long time, if ever. And I had to go spell it up.
Did you have to Google Kaleidoscope in order to go to the website with Kaleidoscope?
Kaleidoscope.
Correct.
Yeah. Kaleidoscope. LCEF.org/kaleidoscope is where you can find information on this. And you want to get that proposal turned in by May 31st. You want to do it right away. I mean, because look, somebody's already shown us all up.
Already been there.
And submitted their proposal.
Get those in.
And that's the first step in the process. Anything else we need to know?
Only other thing I would add is that we have blogs out there on the website, lcef.org, of the recipients we've awarded over the last 3 years. You can read the stories about those. There's some really inspiring, good stories out there. So,
our guest today, Susan Schaefer. She's Vice President of Operations and Special Projects at Lutheran Church Extension Fund. Thanks so much for sharing with us about the Kaleidoscope Fund Grants.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.